I'll buy you guys dinner, pay you back for all the times. No, really. I'm not even kidding. Will you let me? All right. Last few days on the farm, folks. Got me my shitty margarita in a nice checkered glass. Dimitri just came over. It's nice. It's nice. So you gonna be able to save the hot tub?
I don't know.
It'd be nice. After all this work. You almost have to, right? I mean, it's up to God, I guess, but... Yeah, I know. I saw it turned into a bit of a hazard. What are we gonna do about that? Get some paper towels? And then get in there and stomp like they make the wine? John hardly cares that you're here. He's locked in. Can I get you a water or something?
What's that?
You want a water or something?
No, thanks.
Yeah, man. Excellent. Excellent. You don't got any cigarettes, do you?
What's that?
You got any cigarettes or you only smoke cigars? Alright. I'll have to shake your sun down. Sundown. Sundown on the American Empire. What are we gonna do, folks? We're gonna roll over and die? Is that what you want? Just to give up? I heard a lot of you that is what you want. To give up. It's too beautiful a land and too beautiful of a country just to give it up to these rat bastards that run our institutions, the elites. The colleges, these nerds on welfare, I call them. Nerds on welfare. And they think they're better than the addicts on welfare or the struggling, honest single mothers on welfare, or the unemployed, or anybody. Just because they've read the Odyssey by Homer. They think they're better than anybody. It's really funny. They call it the life of the mind. They think nobody else has lives of the mind unless they go to their stupid fucking public universities where they propagandize rather than teach, and they propagandize that there is no truth. See two idiots at lunch, etc., etc. But it's really a sorry state of affairs. Planned obsolescence. They did it with the iPhone. And I think they're doing it with this country. And I've been to Wall Street. I think it serves some purpose. There's a lot of good people that work on it, I'm sure. Despite the implications of what they do. They're just trying to make a good buck to support their families. And if you can get paid $40,000 a month to move money around and not worry about what the money's being used for, then it's a good gig if you can get it. Especially if you're a math whiz or know how to believe the point and get someone to do something. Power plays, man. And I'm just some idiot, really. I mean, the 29 of you that subscribe to me know that. Whether you're here for the dog videos or the funny little quips and skits and etc., etc. But we're all here. This isn't a simulation. I can put that to rest. And now the aliens are either they're choosing to make themselves known, or the powers that be find it expedient to their ends to let the working Joe know through the grapevine that there are aliens with basically aircrafts that can teleport that are already here. It's been the slow unrolling of it because apparently they look almost exactly like all the images, or the most popular images of them that we've been fed. They look like that apparently, with the big bulbous heads and the pointy chins and the black reflective slit eyes. But people look pretty weird too. Eyebrows. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. And some people shave their eyebrows off to look more striking now. They go around like hairless cats. Sans alopecia. That's after they've dyed their hair a few times. They get tired of that look. And they're like, you know what, let me just not have eyebrows. Anything to get noticed, I guess. But it's what you do once you get noticed. People don't care about, this might be a stupid point to make here, but people don't seem to care about the essences of things. They just want the appearances of things rather than the appearance plus the essence, which makes it whole. They'd rather just have the appearance. I'll tie it to an example from Always Sunny. Dennis says he doesn't want power, he wants the illusion of power. And he's exactly right about that, because power is a responsibility, despite what Foucault, fuck off I calls him, but Foucault or anybody else, any of those degenerates would have you think. Power is responsibility. It's not just something you wield like a tyrant, or else, I mean, you might be able to get through it and die, but then your personalist dictator grandkids or children they'll get eaten by the ground, Tupac Shakur said in that famous sample from the end of To Pimp a Butterfly. The people are the ground on which this whole fucking thing is built, and you can't build your castles on sand. Everyone knows that, for reasons I won't unpack, because you need to build it on the firmament, as the Bible says. And the people are firm, because they only care about so much. They care about their bellies being fed, their children being taken care of to some degree. It's getting hot. Only a quarter of this is for the you need to build your ground, you need to build your castle on something solid, which is the people, the ground, the people that work a day to pay at least a third of it in taxes to these fucking grunts, these bureaucrats that get their money to sit around and have the illusion of, and to perpetuate the illusion of getting things done, getting things moving. But we all know it doesn't work. And some of us know that it's, at this point, designed to not work. Just to have the two sides believe that anyone out there is actually trying to get anything done besides gradually slip towards fascism year by year. Which is what it seems to be, because many of the tech giants and the politicians sympathetic to them have accepted the core premise of the Chinese Communist Party's social credit score system, which I would have probably a 4, either a 0, between a 0 and a 4. And once this video is posted, probably a 0, because I'm such an idiot. I mean, but I've made a lot of sacrifices as well. I can admit I have my fair share of privileges. I've been extremely lucky and fortunate and blessed, however you want to say it. But I've also made quite my fair share of sacrifices. And pursued this life of the mind, as some of these stupid fucking department heads at these colleges, especially in the humanities departments, would say. And an honest one as well, despite what anyone thinks. I am making real sacrifices, and I am genuinely trying to get to somewhere and to help people. And along the way, I've fucked up, sure, or acted like an asshole, sure. But I've also done a lot of good that I don't need thanks for, because I know my treasure is in heaven. And if I lay it all out here or anywhere, I know that cheapens my treasure in heaven and maybe even does away with it. But a lot of these people don't even have honest lives of the mind, because they need to publish so many papers a year, or agree with so-and-so, or be commended by whom and whom, in order to maintain their place in the pecking order. Which I'm outside the pecking order, and hopefully, with your help, if you want to help, I can exist outside of that order and be some kind of controlled chaos. Not really chaos, because I'm just like anybody else, despite whatever lunacy I believe that you're welcome to call lunacy. I don't care to convince anybody, really. I want people to convince themselves. Even if that winds up with me in a gulag, at least I'll have tried. And I want to be the cook at the gulag if I do get thrown in the gulag. 1, because I'm good at cooking, but 2, also because it'd be the cushiest job. Even if there aren't windows, they'd probably give me some kind of ratty blanket, even if it is lice infested. And I can turn tomato sauce and potatoes and ground beef into a stew every day. You give me 5 spices and I can come up with a variety. Monday will be salty stew day. Tuesday will be peppery stew day. Wednesday will be spicy stew day. Thursday will be random. It'll be a pungent mix. And Friday will be some kind of variation. It won't even be stew. Maybe I'll fry the potatoes and have some kind of tomato-based au jus and some beef patties. I'd be a good cook even at the gulag, as long as a few of my fingers don't freeze off from frostbite. And even then, if I just had an assistant to bark at, I could get the job done. There goes a dune buggy on a trailer. I had to get a dune buggy. I think I will. Will I get that before or after the used Rolls Royce? Let's see how it goes. I'd like to get both simultaneously, while keeping my car to run daily errands so as not to put a target on my back, but apparently there already is some sort of one because somebody dropped a golf ball off an overpass on my windshield. They picked me out of every fucking car in this just coursing stream of 5 lanes of traffic on a highway, waiting up there for who knows how many minutes just to drop a golf ball. They picked me out. They're like, huh, his paint's chipped. I guess he doesn't care about his fucking ride. And they just dropped a golf ball, which I don't really even blame them, especially if they're under the age of 18, because that sounds like some shit I would do if I grew up by an overpass of a highway in my more solitary times. Because I used to throw eggs off balconies in college and egg my friends on into doing the same. We would throw these eggs into this abandoned industrial park. It was a whole lot of fun. And in the courtyard of the same apartment, because some of the balconies were facing the interior, not the exterior, we would throw fruit and things easier to pick up. Old citruses, things that didn't require a broom and a hose to clean up. Just some underpaid custodian or whatever. But the eggs we would throw off the top floor into the industrial park, the abandoned industrial park that someone was trying to sell for a few million, I'm sure. And people are working hard out here and they're not getting shit. And all these people that have set up the pipelines and don't do shit are getting all the money. And people can talk about how smart Elon Musk is, but he's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. I'll say it again. He has no idea what matters. And he has this slew of blonde women that resent him and hate him. And he thinks he can just do whatever he wants without any repercussions. Because on paper, it seems he can. He's doing very well. Here comes John with the weed wagger. Oh, some deer. John, look, there's deer. Oh, fucking yeah, baby. Let's go see the deer. There's the Pharaoh. I've danced around a few good points that most thinking people already know. People with quote-unquote lives of the mind, as Dr. Stewart with a EW would say. EU is the operative pronunciation there. And he's looking at me. I don't know if you can tell. He's looking back at it. This guy with a phone. Hello, dear. Two souls intertwined. One drinking, one just being a deer. We're both living in our purposes right now. Him making sure I'm not about to do some crazy sketch shit, as a lot of humans do. He doesn't care. And me, on my iPhone, made by a late capitalist slave that's probably under the age of 14, and drinking tequila made by God knows who, God knows where. He's about to run off, but let's see how close we can get. Sorry, I'm stepping in all these holes in the ground. This show'll get shakier, but you had some stability there. Hi, Mr. Deer. Oh, he's growing his horns. He's gonna be a good buck. Yeah, that's you. You're gonna be a good buck. Hi. We got about 25 feet. That's pretty good. Better than a lot of people could do. Let me tell you that much. And it's because I didn't care how close I got. You have to try your best and not care how shitty your best actually is. And you'll surprise yourself with what greatness you can attempt and what greatness you can achieve. It's really that simple. Not like I'm some amazingly profound thinker. I just take some common sense and build off of it. Which, common sense, that's a hell of a misnomer, everybody knows. Because it is and never has been that common. This is what an English degree gets you, folks. Some room without air conditioning on the farm of an old friend who rents it from his boss. And perhaps I've said too much. If you know Chuck Testa, a famous YouTube video, probably 15 years ago now, I called him before he died because it was an ad that blew up on YouTube. I'm sure you can still find it. Just look up Chuck Testa, maybe add taxidermist or whatever. But he was a taxidermist in Arizona whose kids helped him shoot an advertisement for his business. And it was just him, and it was a very funny ad, him and all these things he had taxidermied. And the conceit was, I thought it was alive, so there'd be a coyote, and it'd be like, I thought that coyote was alive, Chuck Testa. And then there's some other thing. I thought that some other thing was alive, called Chuck Testa. And I guess he would do whatever. I mean, he was a real go-getter. He might even taxidermied someone's pets. I think that's in Coraline. Somebody was getting their pet dogs taxidermied or something. Don't quote me on that one. It might have been another movie. And it's a really gruesome idea. Just bury your pet somewhere. Don't taxidermy it and have it in the fucking corner forever. You're not that lonely, are you? I don't think anybody's that lonely. Unless they're a real psycho. Not just a proclaimed or professed one, but an actual one. Which they won't tell you until there's a knife an inch from your throat. But I called Check Testa. I called the number on the YouTube ad. I had a sleepover in middle school, assuming that he had changed the number once all the crank calls started coming in, once the YouTube video had however many million views. And he answered. He said, hello? Hello? And I said, I was pretending to be him as well. I said, hello? Is this Chuck Testa? And he said, yes. And I just started quoting the video. I said, I thought the coyote was alive. And he was laughing, and he clearly enjoyed it. It was probably 9:30 Central Time. So dinner time, Mountain Time, or whatever Arizona is, 7:30, past business hours. But an old man will answer the phone when someone calls, just to talk to somebody. Especially if their beloved has either passed on to the other side or gotten sick of their company and left them for whoever or whatever else. Which, even being a man, I can't really blame an old woman who's given decades of her life to somebody, no matter how hard or how hard she's tried or how well she's done. But he answered at about 7:30, 8 o'clock his time. And I was on a bunch of crazy straws and whatever, soda pop, and he was maybe a drink or two deep. And we just said nothing, really. Just kind of quoted the video, and he laughed at this impression of himself and enjoyed his partial fame. Which maybe, I'm sure that video got him some good business around town. He became somewhat of a local celebrity. And somewhat of an internet one as well. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one that called. But it made me really happy. And we talked for a few minutes, and I said I thought the coyote was alive. I thought the whatever was alive. I thought the pigeon was alive. And he just laughed, and he was like, oh yeah. And then I said, sorry, I don't want to buy anything. I just wanted to see if this number worked. And he was like, oh yeah, it works. That's okay. And we ended the call amicably, and it was only a 3 or 4 minute call, and we hung up. And anyway, it made quite an impression on me, so much that I'm sharing it with you today. This whole thing was pretty unplanned, honestly. I thought it was going to be a 15-second video. One of those shorts that does fairly well, gets a few thousand views. Maybe. Probably would have got like 100. But yeah, it was just a really sweet moment that his kids had helped giving him that profile and notability, and he, by not changing the number, I guess because the business was too good, and he was actually taxidermying people's kills or whatever else, he didn't change. But God bless that man. Made my night, apparently, although a bunch of other stuff happened. It's at my buddy Patrick's house. Real crazy at that house. His parents were going through a divorce. It was his mom's house, I think. Or maybe it was... Never mind, it doesn't matter. Actually, I think it was the house they shared before the proceedings were done, and she had to move out of it or sell it or whatever. But yeah, Chuck Testa and me talked for 3 or 4 minutes on the phone, and it was really sweet and wholesome, and made quite an impression on me. That somebody on the internet with millions of views could or would care to talk to some dumb kid at a sleepover that was making crank calls. And now I'm looking for a moral to end this dumb and probably useless rant off with. And I guess that's just uplift each other. Because it's easy to drag someone down to your level. Rip it, baby. It's easy to drag someone down to your level. But uplifting somebody, though it's a little bit more work and might even cost you something, like your time, your energy, you might be made a joke or a fool of if you allow that to happen. Uplifting somebody is a whole lot better. There's that Bob Dylan song. There's just about a Bob Dylan lyric for everything at this point. That man's been so prolific and profound, even though he's been made a clown of. There's some of us that know how great he is, despite the voice and whatever else. Kind of like Jordan Peterson in that sense, I guess. Just really wants to help people. I mean, he'll take the money and the accolades, but really just trying to help anybody, anywhere. Something, gargles in the rat race choir, bent out of shape from society's pliers, cares not to come up any higher, but rather get you down in the hole that he's in. Don't be that person. It's very easy to be that person, to bring somebody down to your level. Well, with some people it's easy. It's not so easy with other people. People with a sense of themselves and what this is all for. But with someone still trying to find a sense of themselves or what this all is for, you can do quite a lot of damage if you care to. And a lot of people seem to care to. And that doesn't make you strong. Even if it seems that way, that makes you weak. I want to start cursing, but I won't. That makes you weak, and you do a disservice not only to yourself, but your fellow man, and that's not what anyone's here to do. That's why Batman doesn't kill anybody, I guess. The comic book nerds can find somebody he's killed, I'm sure. But that story was written just to depict Batman killing somebody. Because his deal has always been that he doesn't kill anybody. Not even the Joker, who ought to be killed. And God could defeat the devil at any point, but he doesn't. And that's saying the same thing. These goddamn flies want my sugary saliva. There's no more. I don't even feel so good about killing bugs anymore. The Jainists, they go around, the really hardcore ones, they go around with brushes, bent over with brushes, sweeping their path so as not even to step on a bug accidentally, because they believe so deeply in reincarnation and the sin of killing that they don't even want to kill a bug. They won't even kill a bug that would kill them. They'll avoid it if they can, or they'll let it kill them, because I guess it's meant to be. And in that, they uplift their reincarnated brethren. I wonder who that deer was. I wonder who my dog is. I used to wonder who I was until I remembered / was shown. And the world's not going to like it one bit, because it essentially proves the existence of God. No matter what else, no matter whatever else exists, such as the state or states, the king or kings, the aliens, or whatever else. It's not a simulation, it's just a puzzle. And everyone is a puzzle. And put together, we're all one big puzzle. So I guess call an old friend today, maybe see if Chuck Testa's daughter or son answers that number, if it still works. Or do what you feel needs to be done. But it better not be get someone down in the hole that you're in. It would be better if it were to uplift someone, even if they have to use you as a stepping stool, even if you don't drop or raise up. Being a stepping stone for someone, even if you don't move an inch, as long as it doesn't make you bitter, is better than dragging someone down to the hell that you're in. I've said enough for today. Made enough of a fool of myself for today. And I will see you guys later. God bless.